It's time for local stories from across the East. Local food. Local fashion. Local businesses. This is your home for local. This is the East's Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.
Oh, hello, and welcome to the East Daily Download. My name is Mark. I'll be your tour guide on this adventure across the East. I am looking for some music because of what today is. We'll get to that more later. How are you today? It's Thanksgiving week here on the East Daily Download. Have this beautiful piece of artwork that our Let's Draw with Ashley did for us. Goes back to like the whole school thing, but anyway, it's kind of cool. Just wanted to highlight that and feature that piece of artwork. Hey, wait a second. What's going on here? Hold on. Our buddy Theodore's taped up legs and Lauren. She never liked Theodore. We'll get to the bottom of that in a Law and Order investigation coming up. Okay, let's talk about where you can find the show online and tell you what's on today's show. Let's take a look. So there's lots of ways you can find us online. We're at WNCT.com under the download tab, where you can watch this or any episode of the show. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You know what I call those, the usual suspects when it comes to social media, and use the hashtag EastDailyDownload. Also, you can email us at download@WNCT.com. The carrier pigeon service is currently down, so use the email instead. One other great way you can find us is the WNCT mobile app. Download it at the Google Play or the App Store, and you scroll down. We have a link right there. You can watch on the go wherever you are. Okay, coming up on today's show, Angie Casada will be joining us for Q&A with AQ. We take a look at Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers. We have part 3 of our profile of the new WNCT digital studios. And if all that wasn't enough, right now WNCT 9 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson is joining us on a very special edition of Weather Kids. Let's take a look.
Now downloading Weather Kids.
With the arrival of November usually comes quiet weather, but that's not always the case. On November 15, 2008, shortly after midnight, the National Weather Service issued a tornado watch for central and eastern North Carolina. Over the next 4 hours, a total of 7 tornadoes touched down across several counties in our state. The strongest storm of the night was an EF3 tornado that struck Wilson County, with winds of 140 miles an hour, tracked near the city of Wilson and eventually through Elm City, producing significant damage. By the time the outbreak concluded just before daybreak, over $2 million in damage occurred in eastern North Carolina, with 2 fatalities. The event was a reminder that we must always be on guard when it comes to severe weather, even in the colder months of the year. From the WNCT 9 on your side First Alert Weather School, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson. Class dismissed.
Jerry does a good job. He lets you know when something is finna transpire. I have the app on my phone and the radar on my phone. It helps me know when the storm is coming up. One moment I really appreciated was when Hurricane Florence was about, and the way Jerry really let you know what was going to happen. That was one moment that made my decision for us to leave town. Craven County, we got hit bad. I just wanted to say y'all continue to do what you're doing.
Now downloading Wacky Wednesday.
A 10-week-old rescue puppy with a tail growing out of its forehead is taking the internet by storm. And why not? I mean, he's half puppy, half unicorn. A pepinicorn! The little guy was rescued from the cold in Missouri and brought to Mac's Mission in Animal Rescue, where he was named Narwhal. Where have I heard that name before?
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal.
Oh, yeah. Well, he may not be a mythical Arctic legend, but he is gaining legendary status on the interwebs, and the rescue has already been flooded with adoption applications. As for his unique accessory, doctors really can't explain it, but say the tail causes Narwhal no pain, therefore there's no reason to remove it. Sounds like they don't know whether to make heads or tails of it. And as if you could stand any more cuteness, in honor of World Kindness Day, newborns at a Pittsburgh hospital were dressed up to look like none other than Mr. Rogers. Nurses at West Penn Hospital wrap the infants in tiny cardigans and ties, Fred Rogers' signature outfit. A Pittsburgh native, Rogers taught generations of viewers about kindness on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Parents were invited to the nursery window to fawn over and photograph the fashion show, adding to already sterling memories of a very beautiful day in their neighborhood. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Come on, Theodore. I'm not sure how this happened, but I see fingerprints on here. Gonna have to do a little investigation here to figure out how you got your leg broken and taped. I feel like there were some jealous parties here. John, Lauren, I expect better of you. I expect this kind of thing from John, not from you. Hey, welcome back to the East Daily Download. Our good friend Theodore, the turkey, has been hobbled. Not gobbled, hobbled. Still to come on today's episode, we are going to check in with the WNCT digital team. This is our news component that now has a digital online presence. They just recently unveiled the WNCT-9 digital studios. We're going to take a look at behind the scenes about how that whole process works. Let's go.
I'm Katie Augustine. I am a digital multimedia journalist here at WNCT. So we are in the digital studio right now. It's brand new, the WNCT Now digital studio. So we created this to kind of just give a different aspect of the digital world that we have on WNCT.com. So we have different microphones and webcams and computers and everything to kind of just have a different setup than the traditional news setting. So it's a little bit different from our traditional digital kits that we have. I typically use my iPhone for all my stories, and we do have microphones and lights and everything, tripods for those, but in here it's a little bit different. It's more of a studio feel. We have studio microphones, we have a soundboard, webcams, and some new software just to create a different aspect. We can change views of the cameras and just different things like that. We can have guests in here. We have 2 different angles set up, so it's just a little bit more creative in our storytelling in here. I think with the whole digital aspect, it's much more accessible to people. People are on their phones, they're scrolling on Facebook, and they get a notification, oh, WNCT is going live, let's go see what it is. So they're already there, they're right there. I think it's going to actually be easier for viewers to get some content from us. Additionally, digital content is more exclusive. We don't necessarily have all of this in our broadcasts, so what you can see with the digital studio and on the website is some things that you wouldn't necessarily get to see online. So exclusive content is exciting for our viewers.
So this is how it all went down. When I was a kid, my mom would always say, Kelly, you talk to everybody. It's like every day is the Kelly Clarkson show. Then the other day, I'm in the studio asking a lot of questions, and my engineer says, what is this, like the Kelly Clarkson show? Then I'm at a play date where the super cool mom says, you should totally have a show. And I'm like, shut up, but in like a nice way. And then her daughter, who's like the cutest thing ever, says, it's like there's always been a Kelly Clarkson show, but now it's on TV. And I'm like, totally.
The Kelly Clarkson Show.
The Fleet Readiness Center East generates combat air power for Marine and Naval forces across the country, and this apprenticeship program is providing on-the-job training to help those in the trade. Working at Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point has been a lifelong goal for Kaylee Holmes.
The opportunity that I've been awarded in this program is unbelievable.
She, along with nearly 40 other participants, have been accepted in Fleet Readiness Center East National Apprenticeship Program.
They send us to the community college to learn academics as well as hands-on training. We get full pay and as well as full benefits.
Tuesday afternoon, Governor Cooper stepped into the Fleet Readiness Center East for the first time as governor.
This is a hidden gem in eastern North Carolina for good jobs for everyday people.
The center has a workforce of more than 4,000 civilian, military, and contractor personnel. And Cooper emphasized the program can help grow employment.
To come here and have the challenge of working on these complicated aircraft, I think it's helping us to retain those engineers.
Kevin Barlow, now an airframe work leader, is living proof the apprenticeship program can provide prosperity for aspiring engineers.
I came in as a co-op about 10 years ago in a program with Craven Community College, and I graduated into the apprenticeship program.
It's a program that can provide workforce development and help the nation in combat.
They're working to provide for the defense of our country.
Those who successfully complete the 4-year program will earn academic and trade theory certificates. In Havelock, Camila Barco, 9 on your side.
It's ingrained in me.
Of course I know what the themes are.
Entertainment Tonight, that's what people want.
It's hard to think of Entertainment Tonight without.
Oh, I know it!
I mean, come on, since I was a little kid.
This is Entertainment Tonight. This is the Bible of show business.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the East Daily Download. I have my fingerprint brush here because of our dear friend Theodore and his poor compound fracture. Oh, he's our Thanksgiving mascot and he's got tape holding them together now. And oddly, I know that somebody on the cast and crew here was not a big fan of his. Hey Lauren, hey, you over there? Can't tell behind the lights. Oh, hey!
Yeah. Hey, what's going on?
Well, you see Theodore, our Thanksgiving mascot, had this compound fracture. And
bless his little heart.
I know that you, I don't want to accuse you of anything. Far be it
I
from me
would
to
hope
do that.
not.
Far be it from me to do that.
No.
I know John wasn't a fan either, but it sure looks like glittery fingerprints in here. And you had some glitter on yesterday, so. And that makeup you had, so
well,
I just want to know if you wanted to confess anything.
I do need to confess something.
Oh, good, go ahead.
Yeah, I need to confess the person that broke poor Theodore here. Poor Theodore. He probably is safer with me because we were rolling when he got put back together. So we've got some footage of that person who broke poor Theodore's leg. Can we roll that, please, John?
There's no footage of him being broken. Stay with me, pal. Come on, I'll get you fixed. Come on, let's get that leg wrapped. Yes, I tried to fix him. I found him broken on the floor, half of the turkey he once was, and I tried to patch him back together.
One more second. Hey, John, you got that one little piece I asked you to save till the end?
I'm so sorry I dropped you. I didn't mean to. You were my favorite Thanksgiving prop. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, there we go. I think that clears it up, and he's safer with me, so I'm gonna just take him.
Anyway, okay. Theodore's our mascot for things, whatever. Okay. Why don't we do this? Why don't we get out of here right now and catch up with Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers and take a look at this.
As you can see, it is a beautiful day here in Napa Valley and also in the neighborhood. ET is exclusively behind the scenes for Tom Hanks' transformation into Mr. Rogers.
I have played real guys before.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
But the added burden of Mr. Rogers, because it was not just the expectations of the man himself, but the expectations of everybody else about Mr. Rogers.
So Tom chose not to pile on layers of prosthetics to look like Fred Rogers. Instead, he simply added bushy eyebrows and a salt and pepper wig, preferring to embody the TV star's mannerisms and quiet cadence.
Well, what happened to you?
Oh, plate to plate.
Oh, it looks like it hurts.
In A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, The American's Matthew Rhys plays a cynical reporter whose life is forever changed after interviewing Mr. Rogers. Fred's wife Joanne approved the project and believes her late husband would as well.
Fred Rogers was a huge fan of Tom Hanks. He looks adorable as Fred. There's a wonderful energy there.
That was wonderful.
And we'll have much more on Entertainment Tonight. I'm Nichelle Turner. Now back to you.
Art lovers around the world recognize these iconic figures. Known as Radiant Baby and Barking Dog, they're part of this monumental mural by the New York artist Keith Haring.
I think the mural tells a story of joy. You have a lot of figures they look at them, they seem to be dancing and jumping and in a way floating. It just radiates with the joy of childhood before we're jaded.
This particular version has rarely been seen. Up until now, the 85-foot artwork was tucked away on the walls of a former convent and home of a Catholic youth center. Lisa DeSimone of Bonham's Auction House says Haring, who died in 1990, painted the mural for free in the early 80s when he was already an international star.
Keith was invited to go up there and paint a mural for the kids, and he did that. And I don't think we should take for granted the fact that when he did that, he was already quite famous. So that was an immensely generous thing to have done.
Decades later, the church that housed the mural decided to auction it off.
$3,200,000 sold.
It took a team of architects 2 years to remove the mural from its original location, and other than dusting it off, they kept it exactly as it was.
We respect every mark that's there. It's part of its history, sort of the way we grow up and maybe we nick our knee. If you see a nick, yes, that's part of the life.
The art world now hopes this long-hidden treasure will be installed somewhere the public can enjoy. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Chicago is now home to the world's largest Starbucks. The 43,000 square foot Reserve Roastery is set to open on the city's iconic Magnificent Mile and will cater to caffeine-crazed customers with a cornucopia of concocted craft cappuccinos and coffee creations. The four-story roastery will feature a bean-to-cup process on display, everything from the roasting of the beans to a full bar serving coffee-infused cocktails. Starbucks came to Chicago in 1987. It was the company's first expansion outside of the Pacific Northwest. In a nod to Chicagoans, the roastery will feature original works by local artists. Careful, man, there's a beverage here. That had to be on the minds of divers in the Baltic Sea who found a sunken shipwreck full of 100-year-old bottles of booze. The explorers worked for a week to extract a total of 900 bottles of cognac and liqueur. They're the remains of a cargo ship sunk by a German submarine in 1917. The crew escaped, but the bottles went down smooth. The crew says they don't yet know if the spirits are still drinkable. Famous last words. Finally, a mystery artist used fresh snow in Cleveland, Ohio to make a creative statement. Scott Halbrook spotted the snowy spiderweb being spun from his hotel room window. The creative party was no doubt making the best of a nearly nationwide cold snap. However, when Halbrook left the hotel looking for the artist, the mystery Spider-Man was gone. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Good morning, everyone. Happy almost Thanksgiving. I cannot wait for tomorrow because hopefully I'll get some Boston Market or something like that. Maybe Bojangles if you guys are open. I don't know. But listen, Q&A with AQ. You, the viewers, get to send in so many questions where I get to answer. And of course, it's Thanksgiving, so it's only right. I love you guys for sending these questions in. Let's get right to it. First question, what is your favorite Thanksgiving food? I will have to say stuffing. I lived in Mississippi for 2.5 years. They call it dressing. So I don't know if you guys say dressing or stuffing, but the stuff you put inside the turkey or just around it, it's amazing. Sometimes I actually even make some, like when it's not Thanksgiving, just to eat. Then I realized how many carbs are in it, and I was like, I need to cut back. So, but stuffing is definitely my favorite. What is your least favorite Thanksgiving food? Anything that has to do with raisins or cranberry sauce. I hate cranberry sauce, not a fan. I kind of like the salty, garlicky onion flavor. So when like something sweet is thrown on there, I'm like, whoa, threw me completely off. So anything with cranberry or raisins. Does your family have any Thanksgiving traditions? Well, for the past few years, my parents are the ones that host Thanksgiving. It's the biggest buffet of food that I've ever seen in my life. So we definitely have 2 turkeys. We have ham, because there's definitely over 50 people at my house every year. And we usually do a talent show, and it's amazing. My aunts kind of pitch in and get like gift certificates to Starbucks and like different stores, and whoever wins, you get a gift card. So that's probably our tradition, just getting together as a family, having 2 turkeys and a ham, and yeah, turning up, doing talent shows. It gets pretty crazy each year because you never know what the elderly folk are gonna pull through. Last time I heard my mom rapping, so that was a first, but you just never know. So yeah, thank you so much for these questions. We're wrapping up again. If you have any questions, please send them in to download@WNCT.com. Have a great, happy Thanksgiving. Angie Quesada, East Daily Download.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the East Daily Download. It is National Jukebox Day, and I've been searching for, in between dealing with the Theodore situation, you see he's no longer here, trying to find a online jukebox. I mean, it's kind of like Spotify or Apple Music or any of these services, but actually it looks like a jukebox is specifically what I'm talking about. So I can play basically music that is public domain, so we can share it with you at home, as opposed to copyrighted music that we can't. As referenced by this particular cut. Nice. Okay, so we're going to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. By the way, I've had on different concert shirts throughout the course of the episode to highlight National Jukebox Day because we don't have a jukebox here, whatever. So we'll see you tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving in advance. Hope you have a good night tonight, getting everything ready for tomorrow, and we will see you tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Thursday, when we hit the road for the next edition of the East Daily Download, we've got a new real estate roundup coming your way. In entertainment, we take a look at the new Ian McKellen, Helen Mirren movie, The Good Liar. We've got part 4 of our profile of the new WNCT Digital Studios. And we'll meet this week's child looking for a loving home. So join us on Thursday for an all-new The East Daily Download, special Thanksgiving edition on Eastern North Carolina CW.